Alabama is no stranger to losing a game early and then coming back to win the SEC or even the national championship. That's sort of the path they took last season after losing to Ole Miss, getting all the way into the playoff before losing to Ohio State. It's going to have to be that way again for Nick Saban's team after last weekend. Again, a loss to Ole Miss. Ole Miss really dominated the game, and Alabama now faces some big questions about the quarterback situation. Jake Coker, can he be the guy who lifts that offense? Defensively, are they still the same program they were a few years ago? A lot of uncertainty in Alabama, but this weekend should be an opportunity for Alabama to build some confidence back up before resuming SEC play and facing much tougher tests. Well, there's no way to get around it. Auburn's been the most disappointing team in the country, and now they face maybe the most crucial game of their season at home against Mississippi State. Last year's game was really the coming out party for Mississippi State. This is their opportunity to show that they are not going to be the last place team in the SEC West, as the pollsters predicted in the preseason, and that they still are a force to be reckoned with. Jeremy Johnson has really struggled at quarterback. Up to this point, Auburn has not really indicated that they're interested in making a quarterback change. Can Gus Malzahn right the ship? If they can't beat Mississippi State, it could be a long season on the Plains. LSU was sort of the forgotten team in the SEC West in the preseason. There wasn't a whole lot of buzz about the Tigers, but there is now after destroying Auburn last weekend. Now LSU steps out of SEC play, going to Syracuse against a team that is a surprising 3-0. Syracuse, not a team we know a lot about at this point. They haven't really played anybody, but they've taken care of business. It would be very surprising if they are able to hang with LSU, especially with Terrell Hunt, their starting quarterback, going into the season, out for the year with an injury. Well, the big story with Arkansas should be how the Razorbacks recover from losing back-to-back games against Toledo and Texas Tech. Instead, heading into the game this weekend against Texas A&M in Dallas, the story is Brett Bielema, their head coach. Bielema apparently made some comments at the Texas High School Coaches Association clinic last summer about the spread offense. Cliff Kingsbury, the Texas Tech coach, didn't like those comments, but I'm here to tell you those comments will likely be taken personally by Texas A&M as well. They run the spread, their coaches come from that system. Bielema is a guy who is not afraid to be a lightning rod, but he really stepped in at this time, and Texas A&M is going to come out focused and really trying to bury Arkansas, who now sits at 1-2. Well, the big game in the SEC this week is Florida-Tennessee. Used to be the biggest game of the year in the conference. Now, not so much, but it is still an interesting series and one that has been dominated recently by the Gators. 10 straight wins for Florida, much to the dismay of Tennessee fans, but Tennessee probably does have their best chance in a long time. They are determined to go into the swamp and break this crazy streak. Well, if there's a shakier 3-0 team in college football than Missouri, I haven't seen it. But guess what? This is probably Missouri's comfort zone. This is a team that lost last year to Indiana, of all people in non-conference, and then won the SEC East for the second year in a row. Surely Gary Pinkel is welcoming sort of a fresh start and an opportunity for Missouri to do what they do best, which is beat teams from the SEC East. Kentucky, coming off a disappointing performance against Florida, is also in need of a bounce back if they want to get to a bowl game for the first time under Mark Stoops.